Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here with Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and you guys know what time it is. It's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And first thing this morning when I woke up drinking my morning coffee, got a private message from a friend who had just watched a video by Jerry Ward. He's like, hey, I was watching this and I think maybe he's talking about you. This is kind of a pop at you because Jerry's talking about people who claim that they've come off TRT and everything, but they're still on, and it's obvious that they're still on. So we're joined by Jerry Ward's Cocoa Puff. Hey guys. So like when I came off gear several times, I lose all of my gains, and so even though I don't really know how to train, like there's no way anybody can just keep their gains. Like you just lose everything. As soon as you go back to just training with pink dumbbells and cables, you shrink down. So there's no way like anybody can stay strong after they come off. So they're all lying the hell off of me. Let me go ahead and put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, and let's see if we can sound a little more intelligent about this. Now, more or less what Jerry said in this video was that based upon his own use and his observations over the years, and you know what, you can't knock that. I mean, fair enough. He has a lot of experience around anabolics. I'm not going to deny that. I can clown Jerry all that I want, but he has many years of anabolic abuse under his belt, self-admitted. He has his own experiences, and you can't take those experiences from him. Like, he has his own observations, and that's fair enough. I mean, he probably is entitled to his own opinion based upon those observations. I have my own observations. And one of the things that I've pointed out repeatedly is that guys who build a strength base, you build up strength. If you get really strong before people use anything, before they choose to cash in their natty card, they tend to keep it better, right? They tend to keep it better. And people who continue to focus upon strength over volume, in my experience, and that's all this is. He has his experience, and I'm giving my own observations over a couple of decades also. In my experience, guys who continue to try to focus on keeping a heavy weight on the bar through a full range of motion, right? We're talking about muscular tension. They seem to preserve muscle better when they come off. They keep their size, their overall size, a lot better when they come off. They still shrink. Like, don't get me wrong. There is no way somebody is going to gain 30 pounds of lean tissue on anabolics of any type, come off of them and keep all 30 pounds. It is never going to happen, right? Because some of that is transient storage factors. Not all of it is even direct tissue protein thickness, right? Not all of it is actual things like myofibrillar hypertrophy, like thickening of the actual contractile proteins. Not all of that weight is. Some of it's glycogen. Some of it's improved glycogen storage, improved triglyceride storage, other things in your muscle tissue that we would count as lean tissue, but they're not direct hypertrophy, right? And that's one reason some of the size you gain doesn't always carry over directly into strength, because it's not direct thickening of the contractile proteins. In my experience, training tension seems to preserve muscle much better than training volume does. And we know that for drug-free lifters, that training volume is probably slightly more important than total tension, the amount of weight on the bar, the amount of tension you're subjecting the muscle to for hypertrophy purposes, right? I'm not going to argue against that point. There's pretty reasonable evidence towards it. They're both important. Don't get me wrong. They are both important, but training volume and training workloads and tonnage does seem to be slightly more important for hypertrophy, right? That's what the scientific evidence suggests. That's what it supports. I don't think it's reasonable to sit here and argue against that. I'm not going to tell you guys that you're going to get as jacked as possible by doing nothing but 1 rep maxes, because you're not. Not saying you can't get jacked doing that. It's probably not the best way to do it. There are faster and more efficient ways to do it. But when it comes to guys who come off the gear the guys who maintain the heaviest weights possible on the bar, even if they have to reduce volume to do it, tend to hold on to muscle better. Well, people can keep more weight on the bar if they built a strength base first. That's just my own experience. That's my own experience. Now, I feel like, and some people feel like this could have been a pop at me. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. Maybe Jerry wasn't talking about me. However, just given that he just made this leftist cuck video the other day calling me a racist and hating on firearms and everything else, basically being an anti-gun leftist and calling me a racist and everything else. Again, typical far left tactics. That tells us everything about his own political ideology, even though he doesn't express it publicly. We know what it is now. So he made that whole video about me, yet I am one of the people who has come off, right? I'm off, guys. I came off my TRT, and when he's talking about things like HCG, I did my HCG therapy last year, right? Now, people will point out, well, you don't look like you're younger. No, I don't look like I'm on Trend. I don't look like I'm on Winnie. I don't look like I'm on Anavar, any of those things. I don't look like I'm on any of those things, and I never did because I wasn't, right? People have this idea in their head that what they think anabolics looks like, is they're thinking of specific substances, right? So people say, well, Jason, you've never looked like you were abusing Trenbolone anytime you've been on YouTube. Well, yeah, because I wasn't. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. You don't look like you're doing something. Well, yeah, because I'm not doing it. That's a pretty good explanation as to why I don't have that look. It's because I wasn't putting those drugs into my body, so therefore I don't look like I'm putting those drugs into my body. Is that a reasonable explanation? I think it is. I think it is. You don't look like you're doing something because you're not doing something. Yeah, well, no shit. So back to the point. A lot of what you see with these guys, that look cannot be kept. You can keep a certain amount of your size. You can absolutely keep a lot of your size. You can keep your strength. You can keep those things to some extent if your training is on point. What you're not going to keep is that big, full, thick look that has to do with transient storage factors. You're not going to keep that harder, chiseled look that people get from abusing significant amounts of Tren and Winnie and things like that. There's a certain look, and it's not even, you don't even have to be that big to have the look. There's a look associated with those substances, particularly at lower body fats. And those substances make people look like they're leaner than they are, too, on top of it, right? Someone who's 14% body fat who abuses some of those substances might magically look like he's 10 within a few weeks, even though he isn't. They just change your look, and there's something to be said for that. But the point is, yeah, you're going to lose those cosmetic benefits of those substances. You can't keep that stuff when you come off. And that's one reason, like when people say, hey, Jason, why don't you just do that just for a little while so that you could look a lot better or whatever on YouTube? And it's like, because all the guys who do that to look good on YouTube have to stay on it. Because as soon as you come off, what happens? You don't have that look anymore. And then everybody with any two brain cells that rub together knows that that's how you got that look. So then you have to stay on it, and then you suffer health benefits for it, right? I mean, that's the problem. I'm 42 years old. I'm really not interested in playing that game. I'm just not. I would like to live, right? I would like to live. I want to be around. I want to be healthy 20 years from now. So in my case, I have come off. I have been completely off all androgens. I've been completely off HCG, all of that stuff for this entire year, all of 2019. Before 2019 New Year rolled around, I was completely done coming off of my TRT, right? And I was on just TRT. Like there's, again, people can have whatever myths or rumors they want about it. I wasn't above a normal replacement dose. I wasn't. But I am off that. I am producing my own, and I'm lifting decent numbers. You know, I mean, my strength is coming back. I'm slowly, with diet and proper training and training hard. It's no magical secret. There's no magical secret with my training. You guys see my training. There's nothing hidden. I mean, I post my training, all four of my sessions every week. I'm doing heavy concurrent periodization, right? And I'm lifting hard, lifting heavy with appreciable amounts of volume, focusing on my weak points. And I'm doing okay. I'm regaining strength because I also had a minor injury not that long ago that I've had to rehab myself. So, I mean, I'm coming back from that. I've pretty well kept my size. I've kept my size. Now, is there something to be said for, am I much bigger or stronger than I was as a natural in my 20s before I ever tried anything? I'm going to say not really, no. I might have a little more muscle. I think I have a little more lean tissue. I also have a bit more body fat, but I'm not actually stronger right now. I mean, really, what was it that I hit? What numbers did I hit before I ever tried anything? I benched 325. I know I hit a 475 squat with no reps. And I know I deadlifted 525, right? Those are numbers that I hit before I ever tried anything back in my early 20s, right? That's what I hit. But I weighed like 195. So I'm walking around 215-ish now. And at the moment, the only thing probably stronger than that is my deadlift. Now I'm trying to get my squat and my bench and everything back up because I have hit numbers much better than that after coming off years ago. Like when I came completely off gear, my squat had dropped down to 550 and my bench dropped down to maybe 400 on a really, really good day, like a 400 touch and go. Not paused on a good day. A couple years after coming completely off around the time I was 30 or so. So those were lifts that I hit before I got sick and then had to rebuild and everything. I would like to get back to those. I don't know that I'll be able to get back to those. Right? I don't know that I will, but that is what my numbers dropped to. You do lose some strength because I was squatting 600 on gear in my 20s. It dropped to 550 within 2 years of coming clean. Still training. It went from like 600 down to 550. Lost like 25 pounds off of my bench. Those numbers did go down, and they do go down, right? That's to be expected. But to say that you're going to lose everything, no, you just don't know how to train. If you know how to train correctly and you train heavy and you built a strength base before you started, you can come off and keep a lot of your size and strength. You're not going to keep all of it. You guys aren't going to keep all of it. You're not going to keep everything that you gain on stuff. But you're going to keep a lot of it if you're intelligent about it and you know what you're doing. You're going to keep a lot of it. And again, I'm completely off. I'm 42 years old. I am producing my own testosterone right now. I'm 42 producing my own testosterone. I am making progress again. It's slow. I'm having to work really hard for it, but I am making gains. It can be done, guys. It can be done. And don't let people like Jerry tell you otherwise. These silly bodybuilding clowns who really know nothing about lifting. All they know is drugs. So therefore, when the drugs are gone, they don't know what to do because they don't know anything about actual training. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.